Have you ever wanted to guest on a podcast like this one that you're listening to right now? Well, you can. You can definitely do this by visiting a website called Podmatch, where you can sign up and be available for all different types of podcasts that you can guest on. Or you can even search for a podcast and say, I want to guest on your podcast. I think we'd be a good match. So if you want to do this, you can go to our unique link, which is joinpodmatch.com/reality, and you can sign up and do exactly that. And you can find us and you can guest on our podcast. So again, that unique link is www.joinpodmatch.com. That's joinpodmatch.com/reality, REALITEA, and you can be a guest on our podcast. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we're going to be discussing B90. So before we do, we are going to be talking memes. So again, as always, we'll discuss sub-memes here, but all of the memes pertaining to B90 will be on our socials. So, first meme. Statler told Dempsey that instead of kids, she'd rather have a bunch of foster cats and leave her legacy with a pussy. I can't. Next meme. Oh my god, Gino took off his hat on camera. We'll talk about it. Oh man. Next meme. Gino, shouldn't you be asking Jasmine why she lied about losing the ring? Next meme. So you don't want to find out if she really slept with her ex 30 days ago and it's on film, ? That never happened. We're very real. I believe she does that shit. We kind of talked about that briefly. Anyway, next meme. Jasmine confessed to Gino that earlier in the trip, when he went looking for her lost engagement ring, she had hidden it between her butt cheeks, but she promised she had washed it since. Wow. And next meme. Sheila's dad asked David and Sheila to wait 1 year before getting married because it's considered bad luck in the Philippines to get married within a year of a family member's death. Next, we can make our eyes have sex and make babies is the most horrifying image. Thanks, Statler. So that is it for the B90 memes for this week. So let's jump into the reason that we are here. B90. Season 6, episode 15. Every time we say goodbye. So first, we are with Amanda and Razvan. Bane of my existence. Here we go. So it's the last day in Croatia, and they are going to, it's kind of like beach resort thing. She's just kissing on his neck, and he says that he's getting hard right now. And he tells us in the moment that they had sex 4 times the night before. And she told him basically to fuck her right now. And he says that they basically got all of their anger out. So they had angry sex. Listen, angry sex is fun. I'm not going to deny. However, I feel like this girl just kind of, whenever she sees holes in a situation, she uses her sexuality in order to make it better. This is like, that's how I feel. This is the second time that we're hearing this kind of happening. And I'm just like, girl, if you're losing, lose with grace, you know? Anyway. He says that he's still not 100% in on the relationship, but he sees that she's trying. I don't consider that trying, but hey. So his family has shown up, mom, dad, brother. And y'all, we find out here that the brother speaks English. Uh-huh. Okay. I thought he looked very much in tune with the conversation of, are we a match? I thought he looked pretty in tune with the conversation. That's because he speaks English. Cool, cool, cool. So they order some food, and she ordered fries. And when the fries came, the camera crew zeroed in on the fries. So if you remember again from their argument when they were at Dracula's castle, when apparently the argument started because she wanted fries at 3 a.m. and he told her, like, you can't get fries at 3 a.m. She clearly has a fry issue. Like, she needs to have fries, like all of the white girl problems. Like, not even as white girl problems. Let me rephrase that. Basic white girl problems. Like, seriously. Like, that's okay. Let me move on. So both mom and Amanda basically say to each other that they like the other. So that's great. So mom and Razvan end up going for a walk. I should know, we're not there. I'm kind of ahead of myself again. Okay. So Razvan actually goes to change into his bathing suit, and it's just mom, brother, dad, and Amanda. And the brother asks Amanda, like, what do you love about Razvan, or like about him, or whatever. So she says that she likes his pure heart, and that's why she loves him. I don't even know if she said she loves him to him. Maybe I'm wrong. She probably has, but like, wow, okay. So anywhere else in fact, they get the food. As I mentioned, the fries were zeroed in on. So this is the part where Razvan and mom go, and they're gonna go for a walk. And Amanda says that she's anxious about him talking to his mom, and she doesn't want her to get a bad idea about them. So you're basically trying to tell us that because you fought so much and you don't want Razvan to tell, basically you don't want him to tell the mom about that. And you're trying to, like, you need to have control over the situation. Which we will see a little later on, when she can kind of sense she's losing control over the situation. But I just can't with her. Anyway. So he does tell mom that Amanda, she's gentle, but then tells her everything else. Every fight they've had, issue they've had, he just lays it on pretty thick. So she basically says to him, well, it's clear that you have suffered, you know? But he thinks, this will change, this will pass. This too shall pass. And I'm like, but if someone shows you their true colors and shows you who they are, believe them. And it seems like he has actually an issue with that. Because his mom kind of says, like, you've done this before. Your ex was the same way, and you chose to ignore the issues then as well. And now here you are trying to ignore the issues again. And that's why I think I actually said in a previous episode that he clearly has a type. and it's not a good type. Mom understands that, she is definitely dealing with grief of losing Jason, but says that, she needs to think of Razvan and needs to think about his needs and his emotions as well. And she actually says, is she the way she is because of grief, or is she fickle? I take fickle. She's definitely fickle. From everything that we've heard about her from her late teens to now, she's fucking fickle. Anyway. And Mom basically says that, he has a pattern when it comes to his relationships. So the next scene we see with them, it's day night. And again, we're still in Croatia here, and she's feeling insecure about what he may have said to his mother, because she says that, the vibe changed from before he left with his mom and from when he came back with his mom. She feels like whatever was said to Mom, it wasn't good. He says that so they're gonna go play pool, and he says that he plays pool all the time. Spoiler alert, he has clearly never played a day in his life, and I have never played pool either, but I know the general concept and all that, but I probably wouldn't be good at it myself. So I'm not sure if the right terminology is splitting, when you have to hit the white ball with the other balls, you split them or whatever. He does that, and it doesn't go anywhere. The balls don't go anywhere. So she basically ends up doing it herself, and clearly she has played before. So then she says, there was a different vibe when you came back with your mom, than before you had left. And he tells her, they talked about the relationship and about the fights, and she's not thrilled about this. She basically says, I've learned, like, in relationships, when you involve a lot of outside sources, it could become a problem and blah, blah, blah. So you should, like, limit what you say. And again, I say, okay, I hear what she's saying, because I have actually witnessed this myself with the relationship that I've had, but I've learned who I can and can't talk to, who I should limit what I say to. And I really do have, like, a real core people that I consider someone that I can go to, and I know you're not going to insert yourself. You'll give me your opinion and your advice. I can take it or I leave it, and you are okay with that kind of situation, right? And really and truly, it's when I mean core, I mean core. And even then, like, I pick and choose what I'll say, if I say anything at all. So yeah, I hear what she's saying, but this is his mother, this is his mother, who he should be able to go to and talk to. And at the end of the day, she is going to protect her son the best way that she can as a mother in this situation. She's not, but again, this is a person who's trying to manipulate, and I wouldn't put it past her to alienate him from, like, the people that he needs and knows in his life, just to self-preserve, basically. So this, the way she acts here in this moment and what we see in the next scene, it's just like, are you not even aware of what you're doing? Like, you're not even aware. in so many ways, I feel like, I don't know. I don't know if I were to compare her and Christian, I don't know who I would say is worse, really and truly, because it's like they're both just so, they are both very dangerous in their own ways, but yet in the same way so similarly as well. Like, hey, at least I don't know. I think he needs to abort mission, and I feel like he might, but I'm also afraid that he won't. Just based on what we see him next time on. But I'm just like, I can't with her. I can't. So he says that he wanted advice, obviously. And she asks, like, what did she say? And he says, I don't know, which clearly he does know, but he's choosing to not say anything. And she's like, but you do. And then she's like, you're being annoying. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Like, she's like, I don't want to fight with you, but yet you are starting this fight. Like, Sheila is like, this wasn't supposed to be a fight. We're supposed to have a good day or a good night or whatever. And then it's like, okay, but my girl, you started this. You didn't want to start a fight, but yet you could have just not even asked him the question. You could have just said, you know what? That is a conversation that he had with his mother. I'm not going to insert myself in that conversation. I'm going to leave it alone. And whatever. If he wants to come say anything to me, that's fine. If he doesn't, that's fine too. Because I think she needs to think of it from the perspective of she is a mother of a son. And what if her son was in a similar situation? Would you not like do the same? I do worry how I don't know how she is as a parent with these small kids. I don't know if she's just a completely different person in relationships, or if this is grief. Maybe this is grief and no, she's a horrible person. But like, I'm curious to know, like, does this personality extend to her kids? Because, oof, when they're old enough, that's going to be a problem. But I really hope that's not the case. But yeah, usually a narcissist, that extends on all parts of their life. Anyway, he says to her, like, listen, this is why I told my mom. Because of this back and forth you have in your personality. This is why I told her. Because you're not fucking stable is what he wants to say. That's what I would want to say. He is scared that she will not be able to change. Of course she won't be able to change. This is who she is. So you take it or you leave it. And I personally would leave it. But anyway, we're back in Romania. And we see him doing a live. I can't remember exactly who said this, but one of them basically said that it's frustrating to feel like there has been no movement. Yeah, I have nothing to say because I don't know exactly. I want to say it was probably her who said it, and I think she was referring to the fact that there's been no movement in terms of their relationship because of what she says as we go along in the scene. So she asks, like, do you think we'll be engaged? Oh my God. She says that she would feel better if he did propose. And he says, like, we've had a lot of fights, but, she wants to be engaged. Is she fucking delusional? Yes, the answer is yes. She is fucking delusional. I don't understand how she thinks that it's a good idea to, like, get engaged after you've had a lot of actually stupid fights that she's caused. So, anyway, she says, yeah, I know they have problems, but so what? So what? So what? So you're trying to tell me that despite the fact that you have problems, you're going to then take your problems to your kids? He does say to her that he feels like his feelings went away a long time ago and that he's kind of like forcing them to come back. And he doesn't know if he wants to be with her. I don't think I'd want to be with her. I'd be done, personally. And she needs to fucking respect that. And she needs to own up to the fact that she is the reason why. So, anyway. That's it for Amanda and Razvan for this week. So next, we are talking about Gino and Jasmine. So we do see Gino is going back to the apartment alone to pack up his stuff. And I noticed that the lobby of this apartment building is really, really nice. Holy shit. So nice. So we see about 20 minutes later, Jasmine is at the apartment, and he does say, like, what are you doing here? And she says that she would like to talk to him one last time. And through tears, y'all, she says that she wants to make this work because she loves him. She knows she's not perfect. She says that, I get angry and it blocks her mind and she can't think properly. You should get that checked. We do see her dog kind of coming over to comfort her. He wants to see what's going on. But she says that she is broken. That is the understatement of the century. She definitely is broken. And I know broken can be seen as a negative connotation, but it is a state of mind. And also, because there have been times that I could have said, yeah, I've definitely been broken and I need to fix things. But I fix things by going to therapy, I think that she needs to do the same if she isn't already. She says she thinks that I think she said like she's hurt or whatever. And she does also say that I feel like I maybe just told you to leave, because of the hurt, kind of, get you before you get me type situation. And she says that, when he walked away, she got physically sick at the idea of him not being in her life. She says, if your family is important, I get it. I need to earn that top spot, basically. And I'm like, it's not about earning a top spot. And it doesn't have to be a competition either. The level of importance is just different. My family is important, but so is my boyfriend, but it's a different type of importance than my family. I would take a bullet for both people, both sides of that coin, because that's just what you do. And then you have kids like that. Again, you better make sure you can find a three-headed coin, because I'm gonna three-sided coin, because I'm gonna take a bullet for all of them. And that, again, is just my analogy of things. And he's not saying you're not important, but he's trying to say that I will kill and be killed for you and my family. That's all he's really trying to say. And I don't think she's not comprehending that. And I think it's not because she doesn't understand. She's a smart woman. She understands. But I think her mental state is not allowing her to really comprehend it, he basically says that he doesn't want her to get angry and that it's hard on him. And he says that it's something that we can't overcome. So you're thinking, like, okay, is there really nothing then that she can say, like, this is it for him, like, he's done with it? Well, no. So he wants to fix the relationship, but he's just unsure. And she says, I need to get you something. Can you wait here? So she gets up. She says, wait a minute. She comes back and she basically says, like, can you stand up? And she says that she gets down on one knee with the original ring that he proposed to her with. The one that she said is lost. And she basically proposes to herself through him, I think. And says, like, I'm sorry that I asked you to buy me another ring, and this ring is priceless. No, it's not. But, like, this is kind of like what she's kind of saying. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, wait. I have a question. I thought the ring was lost. Can we just start there? I thought the ring was lost. She's told us the ring was lost, and I thought she flushed it Larissa style, but apparently she didn't. She hid the fucking ring and said, I lost it, so she could get a new ring. And then as we find out, as I mentioned, as I read in the meme, that when he went to look for the ring, she hid it in her butt. She hid it in her butt, y'all. She is so fucking desperate to get a new ring that she hid the ring in her butt. Oh my God. I have to give her props for dedication, though. Like, shit. Oh, man. So, my first thought was, wait, what? I thought the ring was gone. That he can't even, like, say to her, because my first thing, when she finally finishes her speech and says, like, will you marry me? My first thing would have been like, but wait, you told me you lost the ring. You know where it's been this entire time. I went looking for the ring. Where was the ring? In my butt. Like, are you kidding? I'm fucking dead. So, anyway, let's continue. So, woo. Okay. All right. Anyway, so she says that she doesn't want an upgrade because the ring is from him. This is what I've been saying this whole fucking time. Yes, I know ladies out there want to have like the really expensive ring because, you got to show your shit off to everybody. I don't give a shit about any of that. I mean, I had a sterling silver ring that was gorgeous and I loved it, and I would get compliments on it all the time. But guess what? It wasn't an expensive ring. Now I would like a little bit more of an expensive ring for the future, but that's what we could afford at the time, and I was okay with that, and I loved my ring. So it doesn't have to be this flashy thing. It's from you. And at the same time, what I will say though is that ring that I had, fuck, that was from me. Okay. He paid for it, but I picked it out. So, there was really any really thought to it, but yeah, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so we're back with them, she says, will you marry me? And he says, of course. But before he said, of course, he was hesitating. He was definitely hesitating. But anyways, he does say, of course, that he will. And he puts the ring back on her finger and he says, forever and always, he will, be with her. And, he says, I thought we were done. But when she got down on one knee with the ring she quote unquote lost. I think the quote unquote was for me. It made him see that she cares, and he has hope. Okay. She says, give me a chance, I'm gonna calm down. He says he believes her. Okay. The best way to figure out future behavior is looking at relevant past behavior. Yes, I just quoted Dr. Phil. I don't care. So I would kind of say, sir, it's not going to change anytime soon unless she gets the help. If she gets the help, then sure, it will change over time. But unless she gets the help, it's never going to change. Anyway, she says if he said no, she would have deserved it. Yeah, so now they're going to celebrate their re-engagement. Anyway, we kind of see it in the next scene, not the next scene, but kind of in the moment that I guess he was like pulling on her weave or something. I don't know. Anyway, they cheers to making things work. He says that he is her gringo, and she says that their love is not a good example of a healthy relationship. No shit. And she says that she doesn't want to be a sugar baby, but if you want to be my sugar daddy, I'll take it. So, yeah, she is going to give him a massage, and I guess they're gonna, have sex. She's gonna pee on him again. I don't know. Anyway, continue. Let's just move on past that. So the next scene, they're heading to the airport. He's heading home. She's not ready for him to leave. So he has definitely spent some money on her. He apparently transferred $1,000 to her account. And then he also left cash on her night table as well. My God. So he basically agreed to keep the apartment for another 6 months so that she can feel comfortable until then. And hopefully by then she will have her visa be approved, right? Right. He thinks that this is the most successful trip. Huh? You would jump through some fucking hurdles to have that successful trip, according to you. They say all the goodbyes, she's crying, and he walks away. And as we've mentioned, while he's going through, I guess, security or whatever, I don't know, that dust there to go through the gate, he takes his hat off. Y'all, he took his hat off. Thank you, camera crew, for gifting us him taking his hat off again. We only got one once a season. One a season, you know what I mean? So this was the one. We just have to wait right till the end, basically. Anyway. She says they can't continue like this, and that, they need to be together. But that's basically it. He's homebound now. That is it for Gino and Jasmine for this week. Do you want to spice up your love life? Well, you can make that happen by going to Love Shop, where you can get sorts of different things, whether it's for both you and your partner or just for yourself. For solo play, you can get things, all types of vibrators, maybe more kinky type toys, or you can just buy what every person may need, like lingerie or protection, or even just something to make it a little more fun, like games or novelty things. You can do all of this by going to Love Shop, and you can use our unique coupon code RealityT2 to get 10% on anything your heart's desire. So that's loveshop.ca, loveshop.ca, and use our unique coupon code REALITY2. That's REALITEA and the number 2. So next, we're going to talk Riley and Violet. So we see them walking together, and I immediately thought, well, wait, I thought you guys were done. But apparently not. She didn't, obviously like the fact that he was hired as PI, but she says, you know what, he didn't hire the PI. So all is good, I guess. I mean, he did say that to her, but I wonder if she just wasn't understanding. But anyway. So he's going to be leaving soon, and he feels bad. He says for the PI, and he apologizes for it. He says the reason that he attempted to do it was because he had questions. He had questions. But he kind of realizes that what mattered the most was just fixing and working on their communication. She said she doesn't know how to feel about him now, but she said, since you said you're sorry, and I can feel it sincere, let's kind of see. And, they kind of say, like, oh, it's been 2 years, so, we owe it to ourselves and each other. You don't owe shit to anybody. I don't care how long it's been. If you're done, you're done, But anyway, he does think that the relationship is fixable. That makes just you. She says, once you fix your personality, you will be good for me. Just fix who you are as a person. You'll be fine. Wow. He says there is something I want to tell her before I get on that plane tomorrow. Spoiler alert, it's really fucking underwhelming. Anyway, it's the last day, and she's going to be coming over to help him pack. She can't go to the airport with him because she does have a prior family engagement that she has to go to. So that's why she's going to be coming to the room to spend time with him and help him pack. He doesn't want to go, he says, y'all. She feels sad about him leaving, but they will keep in touch. He wants to make sure, they commit to trying. But she says, we'll talk. Okay. He says, how I feel about you. Okay, this is it, guys. This is him trying to be telling her what he needs to tell her. He says, I really care about you. He says he really, really, really cares about her a lot. Might be even deeper than just caring. So he doesn't want to say the L word, y'all. Because again, as he's mentioned, every time he says he loves somebody, they end up leaving him. But he says that he doesn't want to leave without telling her how he feels. So he basically says, he doesn't fucking say it. You are almost 50. Say you love her and be done with it. But she does kind of catch on to what he's trying to say to her. And she literally says, no, don't tell. No, don't tell. She rejects his love. She wants nothing to do with this guy. She says in the moment that it's just words. He needs to know how to treat women. I do agree with that. He doesn't need to know how to treat women. He doesn't know how to do that. So anyway, he doesn't take the rejection very well. In the moments, he does fake it in front of her. But he's all packed. He's getting ready to go to the airport. She walks into the taxi or production fan, I don't know. And he hugs her and he kisses her like he's a fucking like 2-year-old. It's so weird. Like it's so weird. His affection towards her, it's so weird and fake, and I don't know. I don't know. So he says that he did so much prep in order to say that he loves her. The fuck you did. You couldn't even actually say you loved her. And you know, he's not taking it well that he couldn't actually say it. He says then in this moment that if she's not open to acceptable words, what fucking words? You were never going to say the fucking words, you fucking douche. I hate this guy so much. Not so much. I just don't like him. He's also delusional, to be real. But anyway, he says she's not open to it. Then it's on her. No, it's actually on you, because I think the reason why she doesn't want to accept it is because you told her you hired a PI. You told her to beat it when Tiffany was trying to talk to her. You didn't protect her from the whole situation with Tiffany. Sir, that's just the tip of the fucking iceberg. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. She literally calls you kill feelings on her phone. King of kill feelings. Anyway, he feels somber on the way to the airport, and anyway, now he's on the plane to go back home, and that's it. That's the end of Riley and Violet. Anyway, next, Statler and Dempsey. So they're exploring the castle, we see, and kind of going all over the place, exploring different parts of the castle. But now they're going to go explore Edinburgh. So yay, it's Dempsey's birthday today, and Statler has to tell the fucking world that they had castle sex, so let's check that off the list. I didn't need to fucking know. I really didn't. Anyway, everything has been going good, according to both Statler and Dempsey. Dempsey says that she definitely had doubts, but she's happy. And she does say, you know, if anything goes wrong, it would just devastate her. She's starting to also warm up to the idea of Statler potentially moving in. Alrighty. Statler says that Dempsey has the most beautiful eyes, except for hers. And then this is where we hear the just horrible sentence of, if our eyes made babies, it would be insane. Who thinks of this shit? And the visual of eyes having sex, like, so fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. Like, I can't get the vision out of my head. Oh my god. I have not yet listened to Reality Gaze yet. I always like to do my pods before I listen to any other pods. The theater that I'm expecting for this is just, oh, I'm ready for it. If there is none, oh boy. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, so she continued on to say, you know, their eyes could have sex and make babies, and I'm done. So, Dempsey says, you know, I would love to carry a baby. And Dempsey is like, really? And sorry, I think that's a Statler, right? Statler says maybe. Really? So then Dempsey says, she would love to be a full-time mom. And then Statler says that she doesn't think she would be a good mom. And she doesn't know if she wants to have kids. So you remember how Dempsey said that if anything changed, like if anything were to go wrong, it would devastate her? Cue the devastation. So, Dempsey tells us here that her and Statler did talk about this. And Statler had said that she would have been open to having kids. I 100% believe Statler lied to her. I 100% believe her here. She was lied to in order for Statler to get what she wanted, and maybe thought that this was something that she could change. When someone wants to have kids, you can't change that. You can't change a person's mind from that. That is a non-negotiable. So yeah. Anyway, they're walking around the streets of Edinburgh. They find a bagpiper, and the bagpiper does play Happy Birthday to Dempsey. So cool. So now they're back at the castle. And it's the last morning in the castle, and Statler is going to be going home after this trip, though. And she does say that she does need some clarity, I guess, about where they go. I will fully admit here, guys, I was trying to fall asleep while taking these notes. So I was exhausted. Anyway, she tells Statler that she wants to talk about the future. Dempsey does. So she says, let's talk about the kids. And Statler says that she, doesn't want that. She just want to have kids. And she does ask, and I feel like this is kind of like a bait and switch on Statler's part, because she does ask Dempsey, like, would you adopt? And Dempsey is saying the right thing here, because here she is talking to a woman who has been adopted, says yes, she would consider adoption. I feel like no matter what Dempsey said here would have been the wrong answer for Statler. If Dempsey said yes, it would have been, well, as she does say here, I'm an adoptee. And there's a lot of trauma for adoptees. It's really not this easy thing that people think it is. I don't think anyone thinks that adopting children is easy from their standpoint or from the child's standpoint, because they have to live with the idea that someone out there didn't want me. So I don't think anyone ever thinks that's easy. So she kind of comes at it from that perspective. But then if Dempsey had said, no, I don't want to adopt, she would have been like, well, then why? Because I was adopted. Like, why wouldn't you want to adopt a child? I was adopted. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no right answer here. And anyway, so she does say to her that she doesn't want to adopt because she doesn't think that she has the mental capacity to take on a child who's been adopted. I do think that is a very honest answer, and I don't blame her in saying that. I think it does take a very strong person to take that on, especially if you yourself have been adopted. So I don't fault her in feeling that way. But if you, Statler, told her that you would have been open to having kids and are now switching shit up on her the last second, that's shitty. That's fucking shitty. Don't be with somebody who wants to have children if you yourself know you don't want to have children. Just don't do it. This is when I said, okay, that's fucking shitty of you, and I don't like that. Because I think about how I would feel if I was with somebody who I thought wants to have kids with me, and they actually don't want to have kids at all. I was like, hey, you've been wasting my time now for the past almost a year now. You've wasted my time. I could have taken that time and put it into somebody else who actually wants the same things that I do. That's fucking shitty. Anyway, she does kind of say to her at this point, like, is it something that you really want to have? Statler says to Dempsey, and she says yes, and she says that, we might not work out. And Dempsey takes that as, okay, well, cool. I'm going to go get ready. I'm going to leave. like, I don't know if she actually said she actually going to leave. Maybe she actually does say she's going to leave, because at the end of the day, there's probably somebody there who can get Statler somewhere that she needs to be. But I think, yeah, Dempsey's like, fuck this shit, I'm going, I'm out. Because she literally says, like, to producers, she's like, to them, she says, this is a deal breaker. This is a deal breaker. She literally just said, if I want to have kids, we won't work out. So it's a deal breaker. So I guess we'll see how things go next week. I think I covered everything. But yeah, I think that's it for them for this week. And we'll see how things go next week. Again, next week's the final episode for the tell-all, which we're getting a 2-part tell-all. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, that's it for them. Next, David and Sheila. So there's not much here. But they are packing up to go back to Cebu. They had sex, y'all. Apparently they had a lot of sex. David says missionary, doggy, explosions. and the signing for the different sex positions. I mean, damn. Anyway. So they're gonna see her dad and John Real. They're going to be announcing the engagement before he leaves the next day. And she's nervous about telling them that they got engaged. But she says, if John Real tells her again that he doesn't want to go to the States, she could not leave her son behind. It probably would be the end of her and David. So they get to wherever they are, and she's telling John Real and Dad that they're engaged, and Dad says that's good. And John Real says he's happy, and Dad does ask, what happens to John Real if you go abroad? And she asks John Real here, like, would you go? And yeah, he says he will go with her. He will go with her. He does say that he's excited. Apparently houses are big there, so he's excited about it. He says that David is a really happy person despite being mute. I'm going to give him a pass because he's 12. But just because you're mute doesn't mean you're not happy. Anyway, kids say the darndest things, don't they? And apparently now they're going to have 5 kids. Because John Real says you're going to have 5 kids now. And David says yes. So, okay. Anyway. So the next scene, we see he's packing and he's leaving. And she's not ready to watch him leave. She's gotten very used, obviously, having him around. And he does say to her that he's going to be back in a year. So yeah, they're headed to the airport and they say their goodbyes. And my God, you guys, if you didn't watch this episode, when he starts crying, it was so, like, it was an audible cry. Like, yeah. And he's very, very emotional. And obviously she is also very emotional. And he tells her he has to go. And they say goodbye and he does walk away and she's crying and she's actually like has her hands, like her face in her hands. And she's not looking at him. And the reason I say this is because he does turn around to say goodbye to her. And it says that he loves her, but she doesn't actually see he's saying that to her. But she does end up going to, I think it's like outside, goes to a window where he is, and he does notice her in the window, and he goes to the window and he, say more goodbyes, but then he does walk away for good, and she also leaves, and he says he will not give up. He says this is not a love that you give up on, and it's a really sweet moment, and it was sad. It was, yeah. Because this is love. This is real love. We don't get this very often on these shows. So when you get that, it's just like, Wow. Anyway, that's it for David and Sheila. So next we have Cleo and Christian. Not much really here with them, but we see them going for breakfast and they're gonna get some donuts. She's worried about his infidelity and she wants to know where they stand, whether or not they're exclusive. And I think he is kind of under the impression that they have been exclusive this whole time. Because he says he wants to be exclusive, and he says that he has no drive to be with anyone else. She tells him she wouldn't feel good about him approaching other women. Again, she tells him this. And he says that he does nothing to let women know or feel that he is interested in them. How the fuck do you know what they think? You know what I mean? So because of this, he feels like he's done nothing wrong. I can't rehash this shit no more because we have hashed this shit out. You know what I mean? She asks, like, do you think, or she actually say, sorry, he says or asks her, like, do you think you can still trust me when I go home? And she says that they would have to work on things because she's uncomfortable with the idea of him approaching other women. And that is her right. And it's her right to create a boundary. It's not an unreasonable boundary. He says, but I am with you. And at this, Cleo kind of breaks down and starts crying. I don't know if anyone has ever made her feel like she's been chosen. But I guess according to Christian, he's choosing her. But is he really choosing her? I don't know. He says that he's not going to be going on any dates with anyone. And he thinks that they will be good once he goes back. She worries that if she is overcritical, she could lose him. And that scares her. And I said, if you have to be afraid to be critical, or in your case, overcritical of something that he's doing, and you're afraid that you're going to lose him because of it, then is this really a person that you should be settling for? Because at the end of the day, she is settling for him, and he isn't worth settling for if he is not serving you in the way that you need him to, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. But I really don't have much else to say when it comes to Cleo and Christian for this week. We do see them again next week. But yeah, that's it for Cleo and Christian for this week. And that's it for this week. So next time on, Nicola proposes in the middle of the market? Question mark. Yes, I guess spoiler alert, we kind of know what happens here for those who know the spoiler. Amanda keeps on love bombing him. Violet might be pregnant. When did y'all fuck? So it does look like Dempsey and Statler are breaking up. Guess we'll find out. Christian is leaving and Jasmine has her interview. She's crying, y'all, after the interview, and she calls him. So guess we'll see what happens with that. So if you like what you heard, please share Reality Tea ×2 with everyone in your life. Please spread the word. We would love to be able to grow this podcast by just spreading it around to everybody. Also, you can rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That also helps with the growth. Again, you can get this podcast on any of your favorite podcast apps. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook, Instagram, or Threads at Reality Tea 2. You can also email us at realitytimes2@hotmail.com. If you are an avid YouTube user, you can listen to this podcast on YouTube by going to Reality T times 2. We have a website where you can listen to these episodes. That's all I can say for now. Working on the website otherwise. But that is now at our Acast link, which you will find at the show notes as well. And as mentioned on the top of the end, I have a new podcast with my friend Mikkel called Next Take Podcast. The link for that podcast will be in the show notes, along with everything else will be at the show notes. Well, that's it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye. Have you ever thought of starting your very own podcast? Doing the research, I found something that would have made editing easy and seamless and makes the podcasting experience just that much easier. And I am talking about Ludo. This is a podcast software that I use for our editing of our episodes. It is amazing. It is easy. You're also able to get help from doing chats and getting the information that maybe you just need a little more help with. They also have access to different articles that can also help you that have been just godsends for me. Also with the Ludo, you can create clips. You can do your ads, just like this very one I'm doing right now. And you can create your trailer very seamlessly just by the clicks of buttons. You can also use a Ludo to publish your episodes just straight from the software. It's so easy. I highly, highly recommend it. You can get access to a Ludo by using our unique link, which you can find on our show notes, just down there at the bottom at the show notes. And you can get access to an easy software